Hello everyone. So in this particular lecture, I'll be dealing with structure elucidation of PGE1. The first method would be physical methods of characterization. Let us understand what is the structure of PGE1. At position number 1, there is a carboxylic group. Position number 9, there is a carbonyl carbon. Position number 11 and 15 have an OH group. Between position number 13 and 14, there is one C double bond C. So in this structure, the functionalities are 2 OH, 1 carbonyl group, 1 carboxyl group and 1 C double bond C. So in this whole structure, the number of carbon atoms are 20, 1 carboxylic acid group, 1 carbonyl group, 2 OH and 1 C double bond C. Hence the nomenclature to be PGE1 because the parent system is E. It is having one double bond and there is a carbonyl group at position number 9 and at position number 11 and 15 there are 2 OH groups and 1 C double bond C. Based on this, the molecular formula is C20H35O5. As the carbonyl carbon is present in a 5-membered ring, in an IR we can observe 1740 per centimeter because in cyclohexanone ring system we would be expecting around 1715, which is a common carbonyl carbon, but since the ring number or it has been reduced number of carbon like cyclopentanone system, hence the IR is going to give me at 1740. The trans configuration of C double bond C was indicated by the disappearance of the band at 970 per centimeter after reduction in neutral medium. This means that between my 13 and 14, the double bond, when it was reduced, the band at 970 disappeared, which also said that the double bond system is trans with respect to the OH system and with respect to the other chain system. So this indicated that the disappearance of 970 indicated that in the neutral medium, when this got disappeared, that is C double bond C after reduction got disappeared, it said that this double bond is trans with respect to all the systems. The compound did not show any UV absorption in the region of 210 and 225 nanometer, which now indicated that the C double bond C was non-conjugated. We can easily observe in the structure that there is no conjugation with any other double bond present over here. Hence, there is no presence of 210 to 225, which is responsible for a C double bond C system. So this is about the physical methods of characterization. The next system would be chemical degradation studies. In this, the first degradative studies that we are trying to do would be, I would want to take PGE1 and then we'll be reacting with 0.5 N NaOH at room temperature, which is going to give me a compound number 2. Now this compound number 2 has a characteristic UV absorption of 278. Now I need to account as to what is this 278 nanometer and an IR absorption which was earlier at 1740. But now it is going to be reduced to 1690 per centimeter. Now this would be attributed to the conjugated ketone group 278 nanometer and a conjugated ketone group, whereas in the previous structure there is no conjugated ketone group present. So this particular degradative study, I need to account for 278 nanometer and 1690 per centimeter. So what we are going to do over here, we are going to pick up PGE1, which is going to react with NaOH, and further we will be trying to look at the degradative studies. So let us start as to what we are trying to do here. PGE1, which is a compound number 1. So Roman numeral 1. So let us consider this to be Roman numeral 1. This is PGE1 structure. When it reacts with either 0.5 N NaOH or 1 normal NaOH, this will undergo E1CB elimination reaction. Now this also tells that At an beta position, there is a presence of OH system. Now I would want to account with respect to this OH system. In the presence of NaOH, the abstraction of an alpha proton takes place. Because this proton is flanked between carbonyl carbon and an OH, obviously this particular proton is acidic in nature. This acidic alpha proton is abstracted by NaOH. Further, in the abstraction, the carbonyl carbon gets conjugated. That means there is a movement of the electrons. In turn, when I say that an even CB reaction is taking place, I can easily look into there is a movement of electrons once the alpha proton is abstracted, and then I can see that the electrons are moving towards oxygen over here. Electrons are moving towards oxygen. Now when this happens, after the movement of the electrons, they have to come back to the carbonyl carbon. In turn, the double bond system also moves and the OH is removed. So this means that this OH is very sensitive in nature. That is position number 11, OH is very sensitive in nature. In turn, it will be a removal of water molecule. Upon the removal of water molecule, I can say that now this double bond has been shifted here. Now once there is a shifting of this double bond, can I not see that there is also a proton present over here? Definitely. Now I will be doing an isomerization reaction. This is so that I get a stabilized structure. This proton now will be removed and this pi bond will replace the proton here. In turn, there is an introduction of a double bond at this particular position. Now this position is between 11 and 12. This position is between 11 and 12. That is isomerization reaction. Basically what is happening here is there is a sigmatropic rearrangement. Now we can see that 1, 2, 3. Now this is the sigmatropic rearrangement, which is called as 1,3 sigmatropic rearrangement. Loss of a proton from position number 1 and replacement of that proton and the introduction of the double bond between 1 and 2, and hence the rearrangement is called as sigmatropic rearrangement. Now after this sigmatropic rearrangement happens, there is another proton present over here. Now this is going to lose. Again this proton is going to lose, and again there is an introduction of this double bond and there is a proton replacement here at this particular position. That is 11 number position. There is a replacement of the proton. So finally the structure that we got is the position after the long chain is completed. That means this is position number 8 and 9, which is position number carbonyl carbon, which is the position for carbonyl carbon. Now this ended up in giving me a conjugated carbonyl carbon, which now accounted for the new 1690 per centimeter. Also, this conjugation also accounted for 278 nanometer, which we were previously discussing about. So compound number 2, it gave me a conjugated carbonyl carbon because of the even CB elimination reaction and a sigmatropic rearrangement followed by isomerization to yield me a conjugated carbonyl group. So what is this product number 2? Product number 2 is nothing but it is having a double bond between the system like. It is having a double bond between a system like after 11th position there is a 12th position. At 12th position there is a double bond which is shared between 12 and 8 respectively. This is in conjugation. Further, when this compound number 2 upon esterification with diazomethane, and acetylation with acetic anhydride. The meaning of esterification is that I need to now utilize the carboxylic group. Now CO2H group upon esterification gave me CO2Me, that is an ester group. Upon acetylation with respect to acetyl chloride or acetic anhydride will be converted, OH will be converted to OAC. So this particular reaction, it tells that compound number 2, which I got after the isomerization reaction, upon esterification it gave me an ester, and upon acetylation it gave me an acetyl group introduction. Now this is compound number 3. Now what is compound number 3 is ester group present and acetyl group present. Once this compound number 3 is now treated with oxidative ozonolysis. The meaning of oxidative ozonolysis is O3 in the presence of acetic acid. This compound now is going to get degraded into 3 important compounds. Sorry, it will be degraded into 3 major compounds and 1 minor compound like carbon dioxide. Now one of the compound is succinic acid, the other compound is monomethyl suberate, other compound is alpha acetoxy heptanoic acid. So compound number 3, after esterification and acetylation that we got, upon oxidative acid ozonolysis gave me 3 major compounds, that is alpha acetoxy heptanoic acid, succinic acid, monomethyl suberate and carbon dioxide respectively. So what is the conclusion of getting all these compounds? Let us understand the conclusion of all these compounds. Now the conclusions say that isolation of succinic acid, it showed that there are 2 vicinal methylene groups were present in cyclopentane ring. This means that there are 2 vicinal CH2 groups in the cyclopentane system. So succinic acid, it gave an evidence that vicinally there are 2 CH2 group present with respect to the carbonyl carbon in the cyclopentane ring. Now this also suggested that the 3 carbon atoms bearing the 2 side chains and the keto group must be adjacent. This also means that there are 2 systems, carbonyl carbon system, which are adjacent with each other and hence they can be accounted for. The next is isolation of monomethyl suberate 4, which indicated that the carboxylic side chain must be attached to the carbon atom adjacent to carbonyl group. So carboxylic group and the carbonyl carbon must be on the same long chain system. So this was established by the isolation of monomethyl suberate. The formation of alpha acetoxy heptanoic acid shows that the presence of a second OH group on the side chain. So the isolation of alpha acetoxy heptanoic acid, it confirmed the presence of OH at the position number 15. So these above reactions were carried out under oxidative ozonolysis of methyl ester. So basically what we could understand is, when there is an ozonolysis, alpha acetoxy heptanoic acid isolation gave an system called OH at the 15th position. Succinic acid said that there is a presence of CH2 and long chain system. Monomethyl suberate, this isolation, it showed that carboxylic group and the carbonyl carbon system are in the same long chain. Next, when PgE1, again coming to the starting material, PgE1 was picked up and it was reduced under hydrogen and platinum catalyst, the double bond between 13 and 14 was reduced to get me a compound number 7. So PgE1 upon reduction in the presence of hydrogen and platinum gave me compound number 7. This compound number 7 is nothing but the C double bond C at 13 and 14 was reduced. Utilizing this compound number 7 in the presence of NaOH, it gave me compound number 8. Again the same system like isomerization took place and then there is a formation of a conjugated carbonyl carbon system. This carbonyl carbon system, in the presence of diazomethane and acetic anhydride, in the presence of diazomethane and acetic anhydride, there is a carboxylic group here definitely which is going to undergo an esterification reaction, and acetic anhydride which is going to give me an acetylation system. It gave me total 2 compounds now. One is with 8 carbon atoms and the other one is with 12 carbon atoms. In the previous system, when we tried to establish, there was 1 carbon atom less, which was attributed to the carbon dioxide system. Whereas in this, it clearly gave me 8 carbon atoms plus 12 carbon atoms, that is 20 carbon atoms could be established in this particular degradation. So one of the compound was monomethyl subrate. Now the other compound that was formed was 7-acetoxy 4-oxo-dodecanoic acid. So these two compounds, when added up with the carbon atoms, they gave me 20 system, that is of the PGE1. Now what is this above reaction going to give me a conclusion? Compound number 7 when treated with NaOH gave compound number 8, that is isomerization system. This, which upon oxidative ozonolysis gave only 2 products, that is 4 and 9. The one is monomethyl subrate, the other one is 7-acetoxy 4-oxo-dodecanoic acid. These two compounds, they accounted for 20 carbon atoms of PGE1, and hence the structural elucidation of PGE1 had the conclusion that there are presence of 20 carbon atoms. The other evidences that could be given were gas chromatography, mass spectrometry and X-ray diffraction studies. Hello everyone. So we'll be looking into the structure elucidation of PGE1 with the stereochemistry. So we have already seen that prostaglandins are cyclopentane containing ring groups with long side chains, and also they have got double bonds. But these long chains, their stereochemistry is that they are trans with respect to each other. That means at position number 8 and position number 12, when I look at the carbon atoms, they both are trans with respect to each other. Where this speaks about the stereochemistry. So the stereochemistry is something like this. The OH groups are alpha, that means they are below the plane. The long chain systems are trans with respect to each other. So also we can see that there is a carbonyl carbon at position number 9, that means it is an E series. If there is an OH at position number 9, it is an F series. In E series, there is a carbonyl carbon at 9th position, there is an OH at 11th position and an OH at 15th position respectively. This system is also speaking that the OH are alpha with respect to each other. So this is what is your PGE1. When we speak about PGF, it means that there is an OH at position number 9, both of which are alpha with respect to each other. Many of the prostaglandins have got cis double bonds. Let us look into the example of PGF2 alpha. There is a double bond between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. This is cis with respect to the long chain system, which is at position number 8. Why we also speak it to be a cis system is because OH at 9th position, 11th position and 15th position, along with this long chain system at the 8th position, all of them are below the plane, and hence they are said to be a system where we can see that they are cis with respect to each other. When we look at the second long chain system and the first long chain system, both of them are trans with respect to each other. Hence this is what is called as the stereochemistry in prostaglandins. Naturally, these prostaglandins, they can be synthesized by the biosynthesis. So it means the biosynthesis could be followed by a 20 carbon atom containing acid or a long chain fatty acid called as arachidonic acid. Now this has got 20 carbon atom like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. As we have seen that there is a prerequisite for the prostaglandin. Prostaglandins should have 20 carbon atoms. So the starting material is taken as arachidonic acid. This arachidonic acid upon oxidation cyclizes to give a cyclopentane system along with the addition of oxygen across the double bond. And at the 15th position there is an introduction of perhydroxy system. This particular system upon reduction will give us PGF2 alpha. That means carboxylic group at position number 1, OH at position number 9, 11 and 15, double bond between C13 and C14, a double bond between C5 and C6. Double bond between C5 and C6 is cis with respect to the OH, and both the long chain systems are trans with respect to each other. This is how the biosynthesis of the prostaglandin takes place. But in organic chemistry, we see that the synthesis has to be done in the laboratory. Before we actually design any